this episode, I'm just so excited.
I'm so hyped. As soon as you chose this theme, I was like, oh, I know what I'm going to pick.
I've not been able to think of anything else for
Really?
months. So I'm glad that we are able to bring it into this project.
No,
as well.
true. Because I feel like we're both water signs, aren't we?
I'm an air sign.
Oh, are you?
Before you've seen it on the thumbnail or whatever. Today's episode is ocean.
Yeah.
But we'll go back to that. I'm an Aquarius, and Aquarius is an air sign.
Is it really? I always thought Aquarius was a water sign.
You'd think, right? But like the sign, I actually find this really fascinating.
Wow.
The sign it's like either a jug pouring water or a guy holding a jug pouring water, and that's the actual sign, not the water itself. So I guess you can think of it like a cloud, right? In the sense that it brings the water.
Right, I see.
I don't know why that's called Aquarius.
Interesting.
I'm actually sure it's got a very interesting history behind it. But yeah, Aquarius is the bringer of water, which I think is kind of interesting.
Interesting.
And you are, don't tell me. So that means Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio?
Oh, I don't know.
But it's not, it's Pisces or Cancer for sure.
Yeah.
You're a Pisces.
I'm a Pisces, yeah.
Loser.
I actually think there are some great Pisces out there.
I am sure you do.
I really do. And yeah, I think I'm very much true to the type. As far as from what I know about them, I think I'm pretty accurate.
I bully Pisces relentlessly because you and we are the end of the calendar. The only one that's after me is you. So if we were siblings, you know, like by you're my younger sibling by one. So I really see. Because I've got everyone else above me, I've got no choice than to bully you.
You're right. Okay.
So I hope you understand.
It makes sense. It does make sense. But it is interesting because you both do have. Well, you've in particular got a very big affinity to
water.
To the ocean.
I'm not sure what like my rising moon crescendo is, but you know. Something must be water.
I figured it out recently and I've already forgotten. And do you know what was so annoying? I paid money to do this like test, to do like a big personality test because I was having a huge crisis about myself. And I was like, I want someone else to tell me what I am and what I should do. And then at the end it was like...
Many such cases.
Yeah. And then at the end it was like, pay £1.49 to get your results. And I was like, oh, okay, fine. And then I didn't realise that automatically signed you up for like a monthly subscription to this personality website. And then I got charged like £50. And I had to email and I was like, I am unemployed. I cannot spend £50 on a monthly personality subscription.
Bro, it's a monthly personality subscription. They should know that most of the clients are unemployed.
Exactly.
Come on.
I was like, give me back my money. But they did.
Good.
But I did find out some information about myself.
Which you forgot.
Yeah, which I forgot. I do remember one piece of information, and it was like, with my personality type, it was like, I never really put this in. You know those things when you know about yourself, but you've never like said it or articulated it, even though it's really obvious. But it was like, oh, you're a huge perfectionist.
According to the stars, you're a bitch ass hoe.
Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you.
You're a rat. And it was basically just like, oh, you don't deal with failure well because you're a perfectionist. And I was like, oh damn, that is so true. And I was like, I've always known that about myself, but I would never describe myself as a perfectionist because I don't know why. But then I was like,
I think it's because you're very laid back in that way. I think like people think of perfectionists as these like really high strung people and like really tense, and I think when you make a decision, you just go for it.
Yeah.
If you say like, oh, for example, we were just talking about video essays. If you say like, oh, I'm gonna make a video essay about this, you just do. Maybe you struggle along the way, but you're never like, oh, is this the right should?
Yeah, I guess I don't have the indecision maybe that's associated with perfectionism, but I do have the same like, I don't know. I guess just like beating yourself up.
Yeah.
You know, when it doesn't go well or you feel bad about yourself. Anyway,
but anyway,
£50 to discover that about myself.
Discover that you're a perfectionist. Let's go.
Which I've pretty much known my whole 27 years.
But anyway, I guess a little chat about star signs. It's kind of fitting for the ocean.
It does definitely relate.
Yeah.
Because I think we both have definitely a strong affinity to the water and to the ocean.
Yeah. I drink it.
Drink it. You love swimming in it.
I love swimming.
You do love the sea. You've got your little beach holiday coming up.
Yeah, dude.
Doc's
I'm going to go
having a
surfing.
hot surfer summer.
Let's go.
Which is so exciting. And yeah, I'm a swimmer.
Yeah.
She's a swimmer.
You love backstroke, right?
I do love backstroke. Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
We should talk about these movies, bro. Come on now.
It's so stupid.
Okay, so cool.
You go first.
So because we're a little bit short on time today, let's jump right in. So yeah, topic is ocean. 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah. So the film that I chose is The Big Blue.
Yeah.
Ooh, by Luc Besson.
Yeah.
I'll look at the year in a second. For me, finding out the movie every year is crucial, even if it's like an estimate.
Yeah.
When someone suggests that I watch a movie, my first question is always, what year roughly was it made? Because I don't know, like I value your opinion on film really highly. Obviously, we have a podcast together. But if you tell me, hey, you should watch this movie, and I'm like, what year was it made? If you tell me 2005, or if you tell me 1965, I know I'm gonna like both, but it gets me ready for like, oh, what do I expect?
Yeah, what's the vibe? Yeah.
And then the second question is like, where in the world was it made? But yeah, so I'll find out the year in a second. But if
you had to guess,
98.
Yeah.
I'll look it up. What about you?
I'd say mid-90s.
Mid-90s,
yeah.
Okay.
It's really giving that vibe.
But the film is a heavily fictionalized story of the real person, Jacques Mayol, and his kind of like companionship and rivalry to this other guy, Enzo. I forget his last name right now. But Molinari is the last name in the film, but it's actually not the last name in real life. They changed his last name. Not sure why though. He's a politician. He ended up becoming a politician after the movie. Yeah. Plot twist, if you haven't seen it, he dies at the end. Spoiler alert. In real life, obviously, he did not. And then he became a politician. And he didn't like the movie when it was first made because he's like the antagonist version. Yeah. He said that he was kind of like caricaturized. That he wasn't portrayed very like
I can see that
empathically. So he hated the film and he became like a working politician in like a town mayor or something like that, or like like decently high up there in the politics sphere. Wow. And then oh my god, I'm starting this story with the worst bits, bro, because like years after the movie was made, years after it had come out, Jacques Mayol committed suicide, bro. Yeah, really sad. And when that happened, as like a memorial, he actually like allowed the movie to be screened.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
So anyway, what a way to start the.
I had no idea it was based on even a real life story.
Yeah. I want to touch more on Jacques Mayol later because he's an incredibly fascinating person. But we'll get back to that. So the movie is his life a little bit and his relationship to him, to Enzo, and also to Johanna Baker. I love the way, because she speaks French and then she'll just go in an American accent. Je suis Johanna Baker. Yeah. I think it's amazing. I love that. So funny. And she's like the love interest. I don't know if she's based on a real person or not. That one,
based off of how she's written, I would say she is not based off of any real.
She's not based off anything.
She's just caricature of women. That's all she is.
Yeah, which I find it interesting. Like
hot dumb woman that wants to have a child with a man she's just met.
Yeah. Which I think is interesting that like when we come up with like triads of characters, it's often two guys and a girl in the sense that like men have the choice of who they want to be, but women are. Boxed. The woman.
Yeah, she's just,
but anyway, whatever. I actually like her presence in the movie. I don't think she's a very realized character, but I think she's portrayed very funny. I think the actor does a really good job at being charismatic. Yeah. So I appreciate that.
She's silly and she knows that she's just having a hot girl summer and
she's pretty much
silly. And she's
so the movie, sorry, before my timer runs out, the movie follows kind of the journey around Enzo and Jacques beating each other's free dive world record of diving deep. Yeah. And they go back and forth between who's in the lead because the movie's long and it actually got critiqued for being too slow and not much happening. Which, I mean, I don't necessarily agree, but you know. So it goes back and forth between who has the title, and then in the end, Jack has it, and Enzo is on his way down to beat him. And earlier in the film, like at the beginning of the film, Jacques' dad died with a diving accident.
Yeah.
So he has this moment where he has a flashback of that, and he goes down to save Enzo, but it's too late, and Enzo dies in the film. Again, not in real life. And then after that, Jack kind of like spirals a little bit. And then he ends up basically like surrendering himself to the ocean, which I want to touch back on again later.
Yeah.
Let's get back to that in a bit, because I feel like it really creates a really strong kind of like conversation with the movie that you chose. So yeah, at the end he kind of gives himself to the ocean, and his entire character arc and dilemma is between him essentially being a creature of the ocean and Johanna Baker being a creature of the earth, of the humans, of, as she says, the real world, whereas Jack does not live in the real world. And quotes around that.
No. He's described as being like, by Enzo, he's like always, he's like a fish, you know.
Yeah, but yeah, he's just like completely, almost entirely uninterested in people. And actually, there's these two sex scenes which I kind of want to bring up now because I don't really see where they're gonna come again later. But I think they're very interesting because when it comes to sex scenes, I think about like, why do we put them in films? On one hand, there's the obvious answer of like it's
real life.
It's kind of like, and well, even more so than that, it's like enticing for us to watch, to be like, oh my god, ooh, it's sexy, ooh. So obviously, like, there's the like marketing appeal side of it, but storytelling wise, like, why do we put them? And as you said, there's like the real life aspect of it. Apparently, it's something that real people do.
Right.
Sound off in the comments if you have more information about that.
Let us know if you've ever had sex.
Do not do that. But in the first sex scene, it's almost like too, I don't know, produced. They're like these close-ups, and it's like super cliche.
Yeah.
And it's like, she's like, ah. And Jack is laying on his back, holding the bed frame.
Yeah.
Almost like he's being subjected to this.
Yeah.
And then in the second one, later, when Jack kind of opens up more about how he views the world and how he sees himself more as a creature of the ocean than of the earth, suddenly the second one is a lot more like almost animalistic.
Yeah.
The whole scene is shot with blue light, with like water texture over it.
Yeah.
And now Jacques is the one active. He's the one on top, basically. And he's like actually engaged.
Yeah.
Right? So I just find it fascinating because it's a little bit of storytelling through two different sex scenes that kind of show you where these two characters are in relationship to each other at different points in time. I thought that was pretty 100%. Brilliant.
Yeah.
When the first one happened, I was like, okay, you know, like we get it.
Yeah.
And then the second one, I was like, okay, no. That's good.
Insane.
That's pretty slaps.
It's cool. Yeah.
Well, for lack of a better term, that fucks.
It fucks. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, awesome. So that's my movie. I'm sure I really want to hear your thoughts about it.
Yeah.
But let's get into your movie.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
I will keep it short and sweet because I want to just get to the conversing, you know. But the movie that I chose was The Beaches of Agnés.
The Big Cheese?
The Beaches of Agnés Varda, which came out, early 2000s kind of vibe, I think.
Yeah, maybe these movies came out really close to each other.
I think they're fairly close.
Well, let me look at
considering.
them. Let me look at them. Also, sorry for the editing, but I'm leaning forward so much.
Oh, it's okay.
Anyway,
So yeah, The Beaches of Agnés Varda, which is a documentary, obviously by the Queen.
2008, bro.
2008, okay.
Yeah, a bit later than I would expect.
A bit later, I was thinking 2004 vibes. Anyway, it's a documentary made by Agnés Varda, and it's
Big Blue is 88. Crazy. This stuff shoot underwater is insane. Anyway,
I want to be Agnés Varda. Like, watching this made me feel so
a character,
inspired, bro. Because just such a talented and youthful like presence that she has, you know, to talk about being like that old and still being so curious and inspired by the world around you, and she's so generous with the way that she shares her perspective and the way that she shares her life. And the film basically is about her, and The Beaches of Agnés Varda refers to the many memories that define her life, and she sees memory as this like one collective kind of like ocean. And she begins the film by saying that she never really talks about herself and she prefers to make films about other people, but how she wants to do something a bit different and basically re-explore the memories and the beaches and the oceans of memories that have filled her life.
100%.
And it's just so beautiful. It's so playful. It's so unexpected.
It's so playful. I want to get back to that later,
in the way that the form is, you know, she'll cut between like vignettes of like imagined scenes, and she'll recreate moments from her past, and she'll have like crazy kind of costumes and props, and it's all crafted and so beautiful. And she speaks so personally and like emotionally about the many different loves of her life. She speaks about Jacques Demy, who was her partner. And
have we ever spoken about Jacques Demy on this pod?
I don't know if we have, you know. We should at some point. But she speaks a lot about him in the documentary. She speaks about her children. She speaks about her films, and by extension, the films are like her own children. And she speaks about the people that have been a part of them and how they've grown up and changed over time, and how her films have changed. And it's just like it's quite like hard to comprehend just how vast it is to embark on a creative journey like that, to basically narrativize and document your entire life, but like retrospectively, you know, retroactively, because, you know, she might have like little photos, but she's basically trying to recreate the past, but with her present self within them, and she's kind of narrating it and talking about how she feels about it now. And I just watched it and I thought like, wow, I just really hope I want to be like that when I'm older. I hope I never, because as I was saying like earlier on, I think like you go through dips with creativity where you almost like resent it a bit, or like you feel like you just want to avoid it because it feels painful, because it reminds you of something that you feel like you can't do, or like you're struggling against. But watching this, it made me feel like I never want to become like an old bitter person that starts to feel like, oh, I can't be creative because the world wouldn't let me, you know, or something like that. You want to be like as Agnés Varda was, which is like curious right up until the end, always exploring, always trying to make something, and doing it in the best way she could.
You don't want to be old and bitter, you want to be young and bitter.
Exactly.
There we go.
I'm onto it. But yeah, I just think Agnés Varda is just like the queen, you know.
What a character,
the queen
bro.
of cinema, what a character.
Insanely cool.
Just like an absolute icon. And I was so moved by this film. And it's rare when I'm watching a film and I'm like, I don't want this to end. You know, you might often I'll be watching films and I'm like, I love this, but I'm not thinking I don't want it to end. But when I was watching this, I actually felt like I was in a trance. I was like, I don't want this to end because I feel like it's just injecting so much like life into my life, you know, because it feels so youthful. So
I really do enjoy this movie. I think it's very fun. For a documentary as well. Oh my god. Although I think it's really a documentary. I don't know. Because there's so much of it that's like imagined and reinterpreted. And it's open. She has no qualms about being like playful or silly, right? She'll just do it barefaced, so like delightful.
There's that scene where she's like dressed up as a potato. She's just like,
and she walks around dressed as a potato, and then there's a shot where they have the costumes out somewhere after the fact, and they have put a cardboard picture of her, and then the cardboard face of her becomes a cat. So it's a cat wearing a potato. It's insane, but like, so you know, funny, and describing it, I'm not sure how you're imagining, but it's even better than that.
It's very just like spliced together. You never can predict what's coming around the corner. She just manages to find something fresh and like imaginative in every single scene. Like you never know.
Have you seen Everything Everywhere All at Once? If the director hasn't seen this, I kind of want to sit down with them and be like, have a beer and let's watch beaches, because I think they would like that.
I can see that. It's definitely got that like patchwork kind of quality to it. It's just like a bunch of things stitched together, but somehow, I wrote this in my review, like it still feels so fluid, and like it mimics that feeling of the ocean where you're just like being carried by the waves of her memories, and like it's unexpected, but it always somehow like flows together, and like it's just beautiful.
My favorite thing about this is that it's very much tied to French New Wave, right? Because Agnés Varda was,
the godmother
part of the movement.
Yeah.
Very, very crucial part of the movement. And when we went to film school together, the film school that we went to, we didn't really have that many conversations about like film authorship and like film movements and film criticism.
Yeah.
They just kind of left us to our own devices, which whatever, right? It's
yeah.
fine. But the Mexican film school, we had a lot of conversations about that, and a lot of the people around me were like Puritans. They'd be like, if it's not 400 blows, it's not cinema, you know? And that's something that in this movie, herself, a master of the French New Wave, just completely throws out the window. She embraces new technologies and new film mediums and just like sees the potential in it. There's like kind of photo montages. If it were a green screen, there might even be some green screen. I don't know, because some bits are like one image superimposed on another one. There's collage. Yeah. There's like animation.
It's very absurd in places.
Completely
you
absurd.
have that scene where like they're putting a beach onto the street in the city.
Yeah.
And they just have sand everywhere, and they have all these people, but they're like putting a beach onto the city, and then the office onto the beach. It's like
onto the beach.
So she has like office workers on desks sitting on a beach that's like a beach that's been manufactured and placed onto like a normal street in like Paris or
and
something.
What's amazing is that you can tell that these people are being genuine. They're not paid actors.
Yeah.
Maybe they're paid, but they are genuinely the people in her life.
Yeah.
Doing what they would normally do. And they're just so like inspired, and they believe in her vision so much that they're willing to just be like, sure, I'll act a fool.
I'll do it.
Why not? I mean, to be fair, to be attracted in real life to Agnés Varda, to be in her orbit, you do have to be a little bit quirky, a little bit kooky, which, you know, love that.
Yeah.
But she fully like embraces that and runs with it, and I think that's amazing. Like, I don't think like Puritanism in film has any power over being, as you said, expressive and playful and innovative. And, you know, this film, so late in her life, which is like a retrospective on her life, is not at all afraid to do new things. It's not stuck in the aesthetics or messaging of the French New Wave. Yeah. Which is insane. So cool.
I love it so much.
And I want to talk more about French New Wave.
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
Because
something that I was like, this movie is amazing. It really, there is even though they talk a lot about so much more than that, because she was so much more than French New Wave. Yeah. They do bring it up a little bit, and she lets it clear. It's one of my favorite things of the movie. She lets it know very clearly that the authors of the French New Wave were not geniuses. Well, they were, but they were not like unlike you or I. They were just trying to make cool movies with the same financial pressures that we do have right now. Yeah. You know, when they were trying to decide to make these movies, the main conflict in terms of production was, how do you make a good movie for cheap that sells? Which is the same exact thing that we are facing right now. Yeah. And it humanized them so much.
I really like that, because she does speak about, like, because she was friends with, like, Godard and, like, Truffaut and, like, all these people. But, like, she speaks about it in such a simplistic, because obviously these people are heavily, like, you know, put on, like, pedestals. You know, they're seen as, like, gods. And I find that, like, when people have so much fame, it kind of, like, dehumanizes them, you know? Yeah. But, like, she speaks about, like, Godard, of, like, how he was, like, really shy to, like, be in photos, and, like, she speaks about all his, like normal human quirks, but also she speaks about just the fact that, like, Breathless just came out the fact that, like, he didn't have money and he just wanted to, like, shoot something, and he came up with this idea. And she speaks about Theo from 5 to 7 in the same way. She's just like, we only have budget for this and this, and she's like, it was so crazy when I got into Cannes and we got to these festivals, you know, she was like, everyone was so surprised to be there. And, like, it really kind of shows you what that movement was like from their eyes, just being suddenly, like, faced with fame that they were completely unprepared for. Yeah. And, like, now they've been, like, immortalized in this way that's, like, taken away from that. It's almost like they were, like, geniuses that, like, pre-planned it or something. Or, like,
they did not go into the Disney offices and said, you know what,
I'm gonna make history.
They did not do that, bro.
They just stumbled
They just
upon
wanted
it.
to make cool, fun movies that were interesting. And they sure did.
And they did, yeah.
So that was really good. Big ups,
really cool.
Big ups to them. Okay, let's let's talk a bit more about the two movies. I want to hear your thoughts on Big Blue.
Big Blue is so interesting. So like, first of all, when you picked this theme, I knew straight away that you were going to choose this film because I nearly chose it as well.
It was. I mean, I told you it was this one or Avatar: Way of Water.
Yeah.
So
I can see the. Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, I first watched it when I was a kid, and I fucking hated it. My mum made me watch it when I was like maybe 12 because it's my mom's favorite film.
Oh, cool.
Which is interesting.
Did you tell her that we watched it for this?
No, I haven't spoken to her much recently. She's on holiday.
Ah.
I know. But yeah, and then rewatching it, I was kind of like a bit skeptical because I was like, I remembered how much I hated it.
Yeah.
But I found it to be so. Okay, one, the score.
Really
that
good.
takes me to a place where it's just like it makes you feel so calm.
Yeah.
And I've never found like a piece of music that like really sounds like the ocean,
mm-hmm.
but like this does.
It
you
does,
know?
yeah.
So
Bro, the Wikipedia page describes the soundtrack as languid. What the hell, you guys?
No,
calm down.
It's not. I wouldn't go that far. No. Yeah. So that's an aspect of it. Like just the opening shots where it's just like cameras traveling over the sea and it's all glittering and the music. I was like, yes, I love this.
Yeah.
And yeah, I find it interesting because the story is in many ways like really ratchet. Yeah. Like the way that these characters talk to each other, the way that they're kind of characterized, like it's kind of caricatures.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
Enzo
like, and Johanna Baker.
Yeah, they're crazy.
Yeah.
They're crazy people. But I did find it towards the end, like there were moments where I was like, I found that kind of like ridiculousness of character like really tedious. But as the film went on, I found myself like feeling really moved by it when I felt like it was getting to this core of like, with Jacques, he's this character that is not of this world because he's like so in tune with something that's so much bigger than us, you know? And I found that idea of like, it's essentially a love triangle between like him, the girl, and the ocean. Yeah. And it's like, who does he choose? And at the end, spoiler alert, he chooses the ocean.
And I
found
crazy,
that really, like, the way it ends, it's like quite a dark tone in comparison to the rest of the film.
One second before we talk about the end, because there's a lot to say about that.
Lots to say, yeah.
And I completely think it's interesting. And in terms of the caricature, for me, a character that really got to me was the one and only Johanna Baker.
Yeah.
Because, as you said, she's very, like, one note, right? She's not extremely deep. No. She's not extremely realistic. And she's brought into the film to have a specific purpose, right?
Yeah.
But then, like, you'd think that it would be this, like, ego-flattering thing for a guy to be like, oh, there's this girl and she's just gonna be interested in him. But then to have him not really, like, be interested in back.
Yeah.
There's a scene where she gets pregnant and she's trying to tell him and he's so distracted by the ocean, he's literally pretending to be a dolphin.
Yeah.
Like, twirling and, and jumping. And she just loses her patience because he won't give her the presence of mind that the subject requires. My heart, attention. Oh my god, that poor woman.
Yeah.
And then the last scene, he basically, where he's going down into the ocean to go into the ocean forever, he basically tasks her with releasing the weight. So she has to be the one to pull it. Oh my god, dude.
I know.
Like, imagine if the person that you love more than anything else was like, I need you to, like, literally let go so that I can go away forever.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, that one.
It got me.
That one came from the soul,
it
bro.
Did, yeah.
100%. Oh my god. I felt so bad for her.
Yeah, I felt bad for her, but I also thought it was really interesting because I don't think she really loves him at all.
Really?
No. I think because a lot of her conflict is she's from Manhattan, right? And she works in like insurance or something, like something really boring, you know? And then she goes on this like insurance related workshop where she happens to meet Jacques and he's like this like really beautiful like alien like person. He can't really like
the first time we see him, he's got these goggles and this wetsuit.
Yeah, he just seems like he's not of this world. And when he speaks to her, like he doesn't interact with her like in a normal way.
No.
He like has a gift for her and he's just like,
Here you go.
I got this for you. You
I,
know,
I will say though, he's got mad riz.
Yeah.
The first time they see, the first time they see each other, the first time they have a real conversation.
Yeah.
He comes out from the depths of the ocean, and they had seen each other just in passing before, but she brings him like a coffee, and he's like, "Oh, you seem familiar. Did I see you before?" And she's like, "Yeah, we just passed each other." And he's like, "No, I saw you down there under the water." And she's like, "What?
Brother, yeah.
Not me." And he's like, must have been someone who looked a lot like you.
Yeah.
Oh,
crazy.
bro. Woo.
He's wild, but I don't think he even realizes what he's saying. He's like even here. But yeah, I don't think that she was, because her character I find equally frustrating and interesting, because her character is like, woman that like suddenly falls so in love with this guy despite knowing nothing about him, that she uproots her entire life to go and live with him, and then like
is fired from her job, and she's like, oh well,
I
guess I'm gonna have to go with Jack
that I met like for 5 minutes. And then like she gets pregnant, and then suddenly she's like, all I want in this life is to like have his baby and be this like
and mother, in a complete absolute, I think the movie passes the Bechdel test in the absolute worst way possible. Enzo brings this like airheaded actor with him, and the two have a conversation where the actor tells her that, actress I guess, tells her that she has a child, and she tells Johanna like, you should have a child, it'll change your life only for the better. And from then on, Johanna can't think of anything else. So bro, it does technically pass the Bechdel test, but in the worst way possible.
It's so bad. It's crazy. So that aspect, I was like, girl, like, you don't even know this guy, you know. When she's like screaming for him to just give her the bare minimum amount of attention when she's like, I'm literally pregnant with your child, I was like, oh my god, what are you doing? Like, literally go back to America. But I don't think that that's really to me, that was not what the relationship was supposed to represent. I feel like she is living in the city, like she hates New York, she hates the job, and then she meets somebody that's like the essence of the earth, like in a person.
Sure, an adventure.
He's like, he's an adventurer. He's the essence of like nature. You know, he's so in tune with nature that he isn't even a person. He's so like connected to the ocean and like the earth's like the ocean is like the heart of like the earth. You know.
Yeah.
And he's like so connected to that he's not even a real person. He represents something so much deeper. And I don't think that she actually loves him, but she just loves feeling like she's got a bigger purpose in life, because he has a bigger purpose by devoting himself to the ocean, you know, and feeling so connected to it. And I think that for somebody that's been living in a city that's like completely disconnected from that, she just falls in love with the idea of like being in tune with something that's like outside of her, or something that's like a bit more spiritual.
I think it's very on point. And of all the 4 elements that we generally kind of like in popular culture really have adopted, I think water is the one that is the most linked with motion, right? Because we can see it and we can feel it. We can kind of feel when the wind is in motion, but we can see and feel water moving slowly and moving quickly. And we can feel it. So like, as you said, I agree, Jacques is like movement itself, right? Jacques is like dynamism and action and movement and spirituality, whereas life in Manhattan is stagnant and quiet and still. Yeah. So I agree. Yeah. I think that's a very astute observation.
Right. I think that to me made.
But still, even if I were to think about it as like a situation with which people often, you know, they do find themselves in that way, I did feel for her.
Yeah. Oh no, I did feel for her. I was like, that's so rough that she's like just trying to. And it's, I don't know, it's quite interesting in that sense where like she cannot be loved by him because the earth doesn't love us back.
Sure.
You know?
Mother Nature.
Right, exactly. We need nature, but nature does not need us, you know? We need this planet Earth, but it has no...
Yeah.
It would rather actually we weren't here, you know? That's how it would be. And that's the same with Jacques. Like, she wants him and she loves him, but he has no need for her in his life. Yeah. And in fact, like, he would be better off without her because...
Speaking of, like, a scene that perfectly kind of encapsulates everything that you just said, in the second sex scene, the one we were talking about, where it's blue and where they actually connect, as soon as it's over, Jacques fucks off. He goes back to the ocean and he spends the whole night swimming around with a flipping dolphin. And Johanna Baker is so... That's my new stim, by the way, Johanna Baker. But she is so, like, conflicted. Like she liked it, but this is also quite weird.
Yeah.
That she sleeps on the stone floor,
beach,
waiting for him to come up. And when he does, and she's like, "You spent the whole night with the dolphins." He's like, "Yeah."
What about it?
And he cannot see why that would be confusing or, anything that she wouldn't like. Exactly. But let's kind of like land everything you were just saying about the him being the ocean and the ending, because I feel like it very, at least in my opinion, it makes the strongest like parallel, or not parallel, but reflection between the two movies. So there's this storyline through Big Blue about mermaids, and Jacques explains that mermaids, the way that they work is not that they tempt you into the deep, but that you're supposed to go look for them. That you go down to the bottom of the ocean, you stay still, and then the mermaids come to you, and if they kind of they measure your love, and if say that it's pure and that it's clear, then they'll take you away forever. So it's almost like a good thing, right? It's like a prize it's like an honor, right? To go with the mermaids. And at first, you think that maybe Jacques is being called by the mermaids, but then I think by the end, at least my interpretation of it, Jacques is a merman, right? He is a mermaid. He's a merman, and at the end, he goes all the way down to the bottom of the ocean, and he stays still for a little bit, and a dolphin comes up to him, and they go away together. So it's like Jacques is being called by his kin. Yeah. And he is one form with who he was always meant to be. Yeah. Quite like dark and a bit sad and rough. Beautiful in a way, but a bit sad. The American version of the film for release in theaters had a scene after that where the dolphin and Jacques come up for air and they play around in the surface a little bit. They didn't bring back Johanna Baker at all. No way. He just comes up, so it's like, oh, he didn't die. He's just happy with the dolphin. Not my ending. Not my Big Blue. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, well, I mean, what is it with the Americans? But to be fair, I'm kind of fascinated by it because, from my understanding, it's lost media. Any prints of the DVD have the original European original ending. Yeah. I kind of want to watch the American one. I really want to see how, because I feel like that would feel so tonally like completely out of place. Like it would feel fake. It would feel like the ending of like the Florida Project, where like they have that like thing to Disneyland, The end, so I think it's fascinating that's cool. But anyway, cool. Bringing like at least for me, as I was watching Beaches, I was like, oh wow, this is really interesting because it's two completely different perspectives of the ocean. On one hand, you have Big Blue, and that one talks all about what the ocean takes away from us, right? Yeah. As you said, Mother Nature she has no need for us, and then she'll take some of us and she'll just go. Yeah. I mean, we see in the ocean, there's shipwrecks, and people go out to sea and then they never come back, or they come back different. Check out Inherent Vice for that, a movie about that, really good. But you go into the ocean, which is a place where humans are not meant to be, and maybe don't come back. That's not the interpretation that the movie takes, but there is a story of mermaids who call you and seduce you into the water to kill you, right? So like it's all about the ocean and what it takes from us, and kind of the melodrama that it can create in a story where someone is attached to that to that thing which the ocean lent to humanity, basically. But by the way, I'm gonna get back to that in a second, but if I don't say it now, I know I'm gonna forget. Jacques Mayol, incredibly interesting person in real life. He wrote a book which is incredibly hard to find in English. It's like a collector's item, and there is no digital version of it. It goes for like 158 to 300 pounds to buy. Wow. Yeah, okay. It's called Homo Delphinus. The story of life of humans and dolphins, like the dolphin within us and something like that. And it's all about his philosophy about how humans are underwater and like our attraction to the underwater. Doesn't that sound like insanely fascinating? That sounds so up my street. I have found a digital version of the French original version of it.
Okay.
And I'm slowly translating it myself.
No, oh bless you.
Yeah, and the pictures of it are so good.
Really?
They're insanely good. Anyway, yeah. So the ocean, right?
Cool.
Like it's almost like the ocean. I mean, like not in real life. Obviously, in real life, Jacques Mayol was just a person, like any of us. But in the symbolic aspect of the movie, he was on loan to us from the ocean, right?
Yeah.
And then he goes back to that. Whereas in beaches,
yeah.
it's almost like what the ocean washes ashore. Because you see all these people and all these stories of life that happens around the coast and life that happens around the ocean. You see this couple and they say like, oh, we actually got married like a bit further that way on the beach. So it's like everything that stays, right?
Yeah.
So on one hand, you've got what the ocean takes, and on the other, you've got what the ocean gives.
Yeah.
What leaves and what stays. And I was like, oh, lovely. The beach is really like this frontier where it goes or it stays. I think that's fascinating.
It's beautiful, yeah. And it's really like powerful as like a metaphor in Beaches of Agnés Varda, because it's like this feeling of like, oh, memory is something that's always there, but you don't necessarily always want to go and visit it and like delve into it and dive into it. And with the opening images of the documentary, she's like walking along the beaches and she's got all these mirrors everywhere, and she's basically being like, do I want to go in, do I want to examine my own memories? And at first she's really reluctant, and she talks about like, I've never made a film about myself, I've never wanted to, and then she's like, but this is me doing that for the first time. And like, I think that's such a perfect way of looking at it, is like memory is like an ocean, and like sometimes you do want to dive in and let it wash over you, and other times you just want to walk along the beach and be separate from it and just like have it running along next to you but not be super close to it.
Sometimes it's nice and peaceful, sometimes it's choppy.
Stormy, yeah.
Chopped.
Exactly.
Sometimes you
chopped. But yeah, and I think that's like really beautiful because it's the perfect way of describing it, and she articulates that visually like so wonderfully. Yeah, exactly.
Visually, like the opening with all the mirrors, she like completely makes the ocean this like dreamscape.
Yeah, it
so
does.
Cool.
It feels otherworldly.
Yeah.
And
no, really, really, really cool. And last kind of comment I want to make about beaches is that I love surrealism. I love Dadaism, and to see someone so comfortable in doing it, because the movie is wacky and quirky and she's playful about it, but it's never like, ooh, look how crazy I am. Isn't this absolutely wild? She's just expressing her heart, it's so honestly
natural to her.
And I think a lot of the surrealism we get in America and a bit in Britain is very self-aware. It's very, as I said, like, look how crazy I am, isn't this just wild? When it's like, no. Whereas this movie, as I said, just completely comfortable to be what it is.
Because it is just, it's like she's just taking her thought process of how she would think about her life and just being like, okay, I imagine it like this, I imagine it like an image of me sitting in a giant whale on a beach, and then it's just like, and then she's just like bringing it there, and it feels like it's somebody that has so much trust amongst her collaborators, and somebody that's so loved. And like you said, like what I love about her films is that it does just feel like so many people love her and are just so willing to be part of her vision, and it's like true creativity, because it's just like, okay, I'll have you and you're my secretary, but you'll be in this scene and you'll do this and you'll do this, and it's just like meshing everything together and doing it, but it does feel like it's just a direct stream of consciousness, and it feels like there's no thought into it because it feels effortless, like
instinctual.
And I love that. It's not like, oh, teehee, we're creating a whale to put on the beach, or like, oh, we're putting a beach on
she's
the
just like,
streets
hey,
of
take a look at this, isn't it cool?
Like, this is like, what my brain is like, and I'm putting it on the screen for you.
The one thing that horrified me was the monument to plastic. They have this for one shot, they have all these like buckets and like plastic toys, and she's doing a funky little dance in front of it, and like I'm very like conscious about the environment. I saw that plastic, I was like, oh my god, I hope that was used properly and not just discarded. Jesus.
2008, so most likely
different times. Different times.
Because maybe that was Agnés Varda's one flaw, that she wasn't an environmentalist.
She talked about feminism as well, and like racial struggle and how she perceived it. Fascinating. I mean, we could be here forever talking about these two films. It's incredible because the last films that we spoke about, I think that we kind of learned more from each other.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, it's just so good. Both of them are so good.
So much to say.
Yeah.
And I just want to watch more of her films. I'm so glad that I've still got more things of hers to watch because she did so much.
Maybe we should do an episode on her.
To do an episode on
That'd be
her.
interesting.
Yeah, that would be really, really great.
Alright.
But
cool.
yeah, rip to Agnés Varda, the
absolute
greatest
goat
to ever do it.
In the Mexican BFI thing, like the equivalent of the BFI, when she passed, there was they put a cardboard cutout where you could go and take pictures with it. So it's sweet. Yeah.
Sad. Yeah.
Shout out to the goat.
Yeah.